Step into the opulent, yet often malodorous world of ancient Rome, a civilization where emperors commanded armies that reshaped continents and indulged in luxuries that stretched the very limits of human imagination. But beneath the gleaming marble, the shimmering gold, and the grand monuments, the secret history of scent awaits us, whispering of a forgotten artistry. What aromatic masterpieces did the Roman elite, particularly its most powerful emperors, truly cherish? For centuries, the precise formulas of their most coveted perfumes have remained a tantalizing mystery, cloaked in the mists of time, lost to the relentless sands of the ages. At Echoes of Time, we journey to uncover these forgotten pages, to unearth the secrets lying under the dust of millennia. Ancient Roman society, far from being a realm solely of public spectacle and military might, was profoundly intertwined with the world of fragrances. Scent was not merely an accessory, it was a fundamental element of daily existence, a potent symbol of status and wealth, and an integral component of both sacred and secular rituals. From the elaborate public baths, like the monumental baths of Caracalla, bustling with thousands seeking cleansing and relaxation, to the secluded, exquisite privacy of patrician villas, fragrances permeated every aspect of life. Imagine the scene: a senator, fresh from the forum, anointing himself with a precious oil. An empress preparing for a banquet, her skin subtly fragrant with an exotic blend. The air heavy with incense in a temple, an offering to the gods themselves. To the Romans, an absence of pleasant aroma might have signified not just lack of hygiene, but a true societal deficiency, a mark of the uncivilized. The quest for these exquisite aromas propelled Roman trade across vast distances. Exotic oils, rare resins, and delicate flowers were not local harvests, but treasures imported from the farthest reaches of the burgeoning empire, testament to Rome's insatiable desire for luxury and its incredible logistical capabilities. Merchants navigated perilous routes, bringing back frankincense from Arabia, myrrh from the Horn of Africa, cinnamon from distant Asia, and roses cultivated in exotic gardens. These precious ingredients were not simply used in their raw form. They were painstakingly blended, often with rich, fatty oils, which were understood even then to be vital for preserving their potency and extending their intoxicating presence. The very act of obtaining and blending these materials was an assertion of imperial power and wealth, a fragrant map of Rome's dominion. Philosophers and naturalists of the era, figures like the encyclopedic Pliny the Elder, provided us with invaluable glimpses into Roman practices. His voluminous works documented much about the natural world, including the use of various botanicals and animal products in Roman daily life. He described some of the ingredients, the contexts of their use, and even general methods of extraction and preservation. Yet for all his meticulous detail, Pliny the Elder, and indeed other contemporary chroniclers, never divulged the precise ratios, the intricate measurements, or the complex distillation techniques that truly defined these imperial essences. The inner workings of these ancient perfumeries, the secrets passed down from master artisan to apprentice, remained closely guarded trade secrets, leaving modern historians and perfumers in a perpetual, almost agonizing quest to recreate them. What was the exact alchemy that transformed a collection of raw ingredients into a scent so sublime it could only be fit for an emperor? This void in our historical understanding is where the true enigma lies. This tantalizing absence of knowledge has sparked fascinating and vigorous debates among scholars, archaeologists, and modern perfumers. The very idea of resurrecting these ancient scents, of breathing life back into a vanished sensory experience, ignites the imagination. How did the Romans truly craft these masterpieces? Were their techniques rudimentary, or did they possess a sophisticated understanding of aromatics that we have underestimated? One prominent theory posits that the Romans employed sophisticated enfleurage techniques, methods remarkably akin to those developed centuries later in Europe. Enfleurage is a delicate process where fragrant flower petals are pressed against a layer of purified animal fat, allowing the fat to absorb the volatile aromatic compounds. Over time, the petals are replaced with fresh ones, gradually saturating the fat with the flower's essence. This fragrant fat, or pomade, can then be further processed to extract the pure perfume oil. If the Romans indeed utilized such a method, it would suggest an advanced understanding of extraction chemistry and a painstaking dedication to craftsmanship, capabilities often associated with later periods of history. It would imply a level of refinement that speaks volumes about their pursuit of luxury. However, other scholars suggest simpler, more direct maceration processes. This would involve steeping aromatic plant materials, flowers, resins, spices, directly into animal fats, or, more commonly, high-quality olive oil. Over time, the oil would absorb the scent, resulting in a rich, fragrant balm or oil. This method is less complex than enfleurage, but equally effective for creating potent, long-lasting fragrances, especially when blended with the fatty oils mentioned in historical texts for preservation. The choice between these methods is not merely academic. It speaks to the technological and artistic capabilities of Roman perfumers and the character of the resulting scents. Would an enfleurage-derived perfume have been lighter, more floral, or would a macerated oil have been heavier, earthier, more robust? Beyond the extraction methods, another intriguing theory has emerged, adding a layer of unexpected complexity to the puzzle. It posits that lead vessels, commonly used for storing a wide array of Roman consumables, including oils and possibly perfumes, might have unwittingly played a crucial role. Could these lead containers have altered or even preserved certain aromatic compounds in unexpected ways? Lead, as we know, is a reactive metal, and its interaction with organic substances over extended periods could have led to chemical changes, creating unique scent profiles that are impossible to replicate with modern storage methods. This introduces a fascinating variable. Perhaps the ancient Roman scent was not merely the product of its ingredients and techniques, but also of its very packaging, a unique chemical signature inadvertently impressed upon it by its metallic vessel. This is a discovery that truly echoes from the past, reminding us that sometimes the mundane aspects of a civilization can hold extraordinary secrets. Yet, amidst these scholarly attempts to recreate and understand, there is a counter-perspective, a sobering argument that casts a shadow of inherent flaw over all modern endeavors. This perspective argues that true replication of ancient Roman perfumes is, in essence, impossible. The reasons are multifaceted. Many ancient botanical species, it is argued, have changed drastically over 2 millennia. Cultivation practices, environmental conditions, and even genetic drift mean that the roses, frankincense trees, or cinnamon plants of today might yield aromatic compounds fundamentally different from their Roman ancestors. Furthermore, the growing conditions, the soil, climate, and water have also undergone significant transformations, impacting the chemical composition and, consequently, the scent profile of these plants. If the foundational ingredients themselves are no longer the same, then any recreation, no matter how meticulous, will merely be an approximation, a close cousin rather than an identical twin. This perspective reminds us of the profound changes time has wrought upon our planet, and how those changes ripple through even the most ephemeral aspects of human history. It is highly probable that the true composition of these imperial essences was far from uniform. The precise blend likely varied significantly, reflecting the personal tastes of individual emperors and empresses, the regional availability of specific exotic ingredients at different times, and the evolving mastery and innovation of Roman artisans. One emperor might have favored a heavy, musky scent, while another preferred a light, floral bouquet. A perfumer in Alexandria might have access to different quality frankincense than one in Rome, leading to subtle but distinct variations. The empire was vast, its resources diverse, and its people varied in their preferences. This inherent variability makes the quest to find the Roman perfume formula an even more elusive pursuit, suggesting instead a rich tapestry of aromatic creations, each a unique reflection of its time and creator. Today, the quest to unravel Rome's secret scents continues, driven by an insatiable curiosity about the past. We delve deep into fragmented historical texts, piecing together tantalizing clues from obscure passages and often cryptic descriptions. We scour archaeological finds, not just for vessels that once held these precious liquids, but for residues, microscopic traces that might reveal their chemical signatures. And we employ cutting-edge forensic analysis, utilizing advanced scientific techniques to analyze these ancient residues, hoping to identify molecular compounds that speak of long-vanished botanicals. Each fragment, each trace, each scientific breakthrough is a step closer to uncovering the tantalizing truth behind Rome's most closely guarded aromatic secrets. This is where history meets science, where the echoes of the past are brought into sharp focus by the tools of the present. The journey through the forgotten pages of history is never truly complete. It is a continuous unfolding, a perpetual search for understanding. We seek not just to unearth facts, but to grasp the essence of human experience across the ages, to find those echoes of humanity's great history that resonate with our own present. In the pursuit of Rome's lost perfumes, we are not just chasing a formula. We are striving to reawaken a lost sensory world, to connect with the very breath of an ancient empire. Could we, finally, be on the verge of unearthing the formulas that once perfumed the powerful, allowing us to inhale a piece of the past? Or will the full bouquet of Rome's secret scents forever remain a beautiful, fragrant enigma just beyond our reach?